shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
So, Fat Man.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So, do we have 17 shows to review this time around?
Only 4.
Only 4.
And news and rumors.
Really? We get to hear news and rumors again?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get right to it on The Wrestling Show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is Ron Burgundy.
What?
The Fat Man?
Oh, Jesus. And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Blue Smock Nancy, they're awesome. They let us use that wonderful song, Unsettling Differences. You can find them on iTunes and Spotify. Fat Man, we've got a ton of content. If you are hearing this before you hear our kind of chopped show, sorry. But we're just going to get right into it. Stomping Grounds? You want to do Stomping Grounds first, or what do you feel?
You know that my OCD wants to do this in chronological order, but we can do Stomping Grounds first.
What is the first?
Dominion.
Fuck that show.
But we'll do Stomping Grounds first.
It was. I shouldn't say that. It wasn't a bad show. Let's do Stomping Grounds.
That took place June 23rd from the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. Did you watch the pre-show?
Fuck no.
Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch defends against Lacey Evans. The match went 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Fuck, Dave Meltzer gave it a star and a quarter. You're a women's wrestling enthusiast.
Not a great show.
What?
Not a great showing. I went to say showing and then stop for some reason. Not a great showing for Lacey Evans on this one. She looked green as hell, honestly. This was not the match that I would have preferred them to have. 11 minutes. I don't think she's ready for it. I don't know. Star and a quarter seems generous, but then again, I was thinking star and a half, so.
I guess I'm an overrating piece of shit. 2 3/4 stars.
What?
Becky was the ring general, obviously. She was calling out spots super loud. Even my deaf ass can fucking hear it.
That's true.
She looked pissed after the one spot where Lacey was go kick Lacey and she was in the wrong spot. You just see Lynch going, like, shaking her head going, what the fuck? Yes, and here's a bigger problem with Lacey Evans. Yes, the woman's right is a stupid finish, but with Lacey's offense, she can't punch because of her finish being a punch.
That's a big problem.
And since her finisher is a punch, she has to rely on more unconventional offense, which doesn't fit her character and that she is still too green to do. And the match rate suffers. Slightly above average match.
I'm still surprised you gave it above average match rating. I definitely don't think it was a match that should have started the show for sure. It didn't bode well for days to come.
Right. Yeah, like I don't know. Lacey Evans is still green. I think Becky Lynch got an okay match out of her. I thought it was better than their Money in the Bank match. But yeah, I think going 11 minutes is a little bit too much for Lacey to do right now. So, but we'll see where it goes.
I mean, here's my problem with Lacey is that they thought that her coming up. I guess my problem with it was that they spent all this time making her look like not a wrestler, and then they put her in the ring when she's still too green to look like not a wrestler. It was kind of strange. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm actually on my phone looking up Dave Meltzer's star ratings.
Look at you being all happy.
Just so I can bash him. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I would just let it go.
New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
I liked it?
Question mark?
Question mark? I mean, considering they spent weeks and weeks and weeks burying the two of them, it was nice. But that's kind of it. And that's probably not something that should be said about these four guys, honestly. At this point, at least.
I really liked it. 3 3/4 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not biased at all?
No.
Okay.
This match put 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Fuck Dave Mouse gave it 3 1/4. I love the start of the match to where they just attacked them as soon as the bell rang. It was classic tag team work from Zayn and Owens. Even Zayn's facial expressions made him look more heelish. Great match that had old school tag team wrestling with a little new school action from bell to bell, and I thought Owens and Zayn needed the win more.
Oh, by far. Like I said, they've been basically jobbed out for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, once again, I feel like that it shouldn't have been anything more than a 2.5 star match. Or it didn't come across to me as more than a 2.5 star match.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't catch my fancy at all.
Hope you fucking step on a Lego.
Oh, God. Well, the good news with that is that you can buy those shirts on thewrestlingshow.com under the merch tab, or there is an actual link on our Facebook page. So you can go and check that out. It's only $20, $2.95 shipping, or if you come to a show or the WNY PodCon, they will be there with no extra shipping. And we have sizes all the way up to 4X.
Because we cater to fat people. Because we are them ourselves.
Yes, and it's $20 up to 4X. We don't charge extra for that shit. Because we've been charged extra many times ourselves.
Oh, hell yeah. United States Championship, Samoa Joe defends against Ricochet. This match went 12 minutes and 25 seconds. Fuck, Dave Monster gave it 3.5.
What was your opinion on it?
3 3/4.
I said 3.5. So, I mean, it's a great feel-good moment. Ricochet being United States champion. Two, I don't want to say indie darlings, but definitely an indie darling and a guy that really, I don't want to say known for WWE, but definitely known for being outside of WWE in terms of Impact / TNA / Ring of Honor, which we'll talk about later. I find it interesting that they pulled the trigger on Ricochet here.
Like, I think they're going to give it to Mysterio, but then he got hurt. So they're like, let's just give it to Ricochet.
Yeah, because if you look, spoiler, on the next pay-per-view, Joe's in the fucking main event.
Right, yeah, he's facing Kofi.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it's the first time this has ever happened. A match in which two superstars that are competing for the WWE title are also slang for coffee.
The match started slow with Joe in control. Picked up when Ricochet made his comeback. Love that Ricochet stalled on offense and did a great job selling on defense, obviously. Selling as well.
Are you trying to say that the spot-like person actually sold too?
Yeah.
Not like, I'm going to sell your move by getting ready to do my own move?
I'll talk about that later on another show.
Well, it's okay. You know, why don't you just check my bank account statements first?
What?
Will Ospreay.
SmackDown Tag Team Championships?
It's a bad reference, okay?
Daniel Bryanson and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery. Match went 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Fuck Dame also gave it 3.5. I gave it 3 1/4. I said, Goddamn, my brothers are texting in a group chat. I fucking hate it. They're going off. They didn't do Heavy Machinery every favors by having them have their first major tag team title match against Danielson in Washington State.
Oh, God, no.
Because the crowd was over. The match was good. Heavy Machinery didn't get upset with the crowd reaction and actually did their job, which is really professional of them and actually a good sign. I like that. Nothing to say. Good match, 3 1/4.
Good match, poorly booked. In terms of having the actual match there. They should have saw that coming, really. Especially when it's an undercard match.
Right, and for only 6,000 people there in like a 20,000 seat arena, the crowd was hot all night.
That's true, yeah.
So, like, they were hot. They were up for anything, and I think that they wanted to do that just to be, hey, because not a lot of people here doesn't mean we're not a great crowd.
Right.
So,
and I'm glad. I'm glad. See, ironically, they got this crowd got the fact that there were, or how should I put this? You know, when an indie crowd is there because they like wrestling. This crowd was there because they like wrestling, not because they wanted to be smarks. They don't want to put themselves over. They wanted to, get over some weird agenda. They got comped them and were like, oh yeah, I think I'll try this wrestling thing. No, that was not the case at all. They were there to have fun and it was great. And something that honestly WWE needed on a major show like this.
Right, especially a show that people bashed about the card. SmackDown Women's title, Bayley defends against one of my girls, Alexa Bliss. I love Alexa Bliss. Don't you love Alexa Bliss?
She's not bad.
I love Alexa Bliss.
She's about like 3 stars. Just like this match.
What?
No.
She's a 9.
A 9?
She's a 9. Fuck, Dave Meltzer gave it a 1.25 at 10 minutes and 35 seconds. I was more kind. It was an okay match for a house show.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it wasn't like terrible.
Literally, the first of my notes is Alexa looking fine as always. I did not like the sunset bomb onto the turnbuckle with Alexa, seeing as how she's just coming back from having multiple concussions. Why do that spot?
I mean, yeah, and do you have rumors about her concussions?
No.
Okay, so I'll bring it up here then. So there was a rumor. No, it wasn't a rumor. She outright said it. That she got 2 of her concussions were because
Ronda Rousey. It was on her 365.
Yes.
Yeah.
That from the same move. Headlock takeover. I mean, I'm sorry. Headlock takeover? Seriously? But in the same breath, I can understand why she's doing headlock takeovers. Because that's like grappling 101 is doing headlock takeover.
And to Alexa's credit, she's like, well, it's nobody's fault. No, it's Ronda's fault. But
it is definitely Ronda's fault.
But it's a fucking headlock takeover. It's Ronda's fault. But at least she's professional enough to go, hey, it's nobody's fault. Shit happens,
Yeah, and we're always going to say shit happens in the ring because shit does happen in the ring. But there gets to be a point where the 9th time you potato somebody in a row,
it's not a potato. That's purpose.
It's just purposeful,
Right.
Whatever. So,
but no, it was an average match. Like nothing, like the Nikki Cross thing where like she went into the ring and kind of, cost Alexa the match, but Alexa didn't get upset. It was weird. Like, but at the same time, the booking around it was weird, but the match was okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it was okay. It was nothing special, but from Meltzer's standpoint, it was like hot garbage.
Well, it's Dave Meltzer. It's not. It wasn't in the Tokyo.
Dave Meltzer.
Fuck, and it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome. So
that is also true.
The Tacoma Dome, not the Tokyo Dome.
Close enough, right?
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. The match went 17 minutes and 20 seconds. Fuck, Dave Meltzer gave us 3 3/4 stars. I wasn't so kind. I gave it 3 1/4. I said good match that was a little too long. Started good, drunk in the middle, and had a good ending.
See, so let me get this right. Roman Reigns can't beat Shane McMahon, but he can beat Drew McIntyre. So therefore, Shane McMahon is better than Drew McIntyre.
And but Roman Reigns can't beat Drew McIntyre or Shane McMahon at the same time, so he needs the fucking Undertaker to help him beat Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre.
And you know who's taking the pin there.
Drew McIntyre, obviously.
Obviously. Because Shane McMahon can't take a fucking pin to save his fucking life. What the fuck is going on in WWE right now?
Oh, God, we'll get to it. But, no, it was a good match, just nothing to write home about. Speaking of, I'm not even going to say that. Steel cage match for the WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston defends against Dolph Ziggler. Fuck Dave Monster gave this 2.5 in a 20-minute match. I give it 2.25. I think I'm still a little overrating. Bro, when I think of steel cage matches, I think of rest holds. At least they stopped doing that and realized they were actually in a cage match. A knee injury by Kofi went all for naught. Slightly below average match. Should have just made it escape only if they were going to do that finish where Kofi jumps through the ropes, which kind of goes into, do they listen to our show? The trope where Kofi just jumps and that's what he's good for. So the ending is he jumps.
Kofi's job is he jumps.
Yes.
So here's my problem with this. Now I gave it a star and a half. I wasn't as kind, I guess. I thought the match was a mess. Remember when we used to praise Dolph Ziggler as being that one underrated guy that really just couldn't break through? It's performances like this one that prove that maybe he should just go someplace else. I mean, against certain opponents, Dolph can shine. Kofi's moveset, and don't get me wrong, these two guys have had a shit ton of matches against each other. It just doesn't work. I don't understand it. I think it was a standing joke that they had to go out there when they did their first feud many years ago, that they had to get out there until they got each other over with the match, and they never could. That's why I kept doing matches over and over and over again. And honestly, this one was just garbage. This was hot garbage. The finish was even ripped from a Ring of Honor finish from a long time ago. So it's not even an original finish. I really didn't even like it. I maybe I'm just being a hateful old asshole, but it just didn't. Nothing really clicked for me.
Yeah, there was no reason for this to be pinfall submission if they're going to do that finish. It just went escape only. Plus, it would have added a little bit more drama to the match, too. I think.
Yeah.
All right, main event.
Most fucking cage matches should be escape only, honestly.
Right. It should be. Main event time. Universal Championship. Seth Rollins defends against Baron Corbin with Lacey Evans as the special guest referee.
Okay, I would like to give my opinion on this one. Go fuck yourself. There you go.
I liked it.
The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you?
The match wasn't great, but it was more of a story. It was more of an angle than it was an actual match. And I thought it took me that fucking look. It reminded me of the Attitude Era, where most matches were like that.
It was exactly the Attitude Era, and it was terrible then. It's terrible now.
I thought they executed it well. I mean, Lacey Evans kept going, "Come on, Baron, get up." That was just stupid. Like, she could have mixed in other, words, but
she's green as fuck.
Yeah,
obviously.
But I think it was well done. I said Lacey Evans was an interesting choice, special guest referee, and since they were pushing that Rollins and Becky were boyfriend and girlfriend the whole fucking night, it made sense. They turned into a no count out, no DQ match. I like when Corbin went to go put on the sharpshooter, and he goes, "Okay, as soon as I turn him over, ring the bell." She's like, "Okay, got it." Like, I like that they did that. Like
there were moments.
It made sense.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also made sense storyline wise because why? And that was the only submission they did. So why are you going to put a guy in submission and not tell the special guest referee to ring the bell
when she's obviously in your pocket?
Right. It makes sense. That made sense. I like that. With Becky Lynch coming, like when it became no DQ, I know Seth's like, the babyface and won't hit women, but since it's no DQ, for one, why not hit her? And two, why not do it before it's no DQ and be like, oh, the card stacked against me, hit her, and then that's the reason why, it's a no DQ match now, because he tried to save him the title from him. That would have made more sense, I thought, too. See what I'm getting at? Like,
yeah. I mean, that
like,
worked.
Or push her away or something.
Right.
So he's trying to save the title, but then be like, she's like, no, you can't, like, I'm the referee, you can't touch me. Oh, you touched me? Oh, well, now it's no DQ. Like, yeah, I thought that would work better than just having Corbin walk into a ring, hit the chair, and then be all like, oh, hey, now it's no disqualification.
Because they ripped that from every fucking match in the Attitude Era. And that, I guess, I have 2 problems with it. 3 problems, actually, with it. Number 1, Lacey Evans as a special guest referee. Maybe you should kind of give her some, pointers about being a referee at all.
That's the point.
And not quite. Because she does do that. She plays partly that, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, by the way, I'm actually not that I know what I'm doing. Which is kind of weird. I
thought that was the point. I didn't mind that at
all. I take exception to it. I take exception in the fact that once again we have to play the boyfriend-girlfriend card on camera.
I
am a hugely against that.
No.
There's already been bad enough problems with all sorts of weird shit backstage when it comes to shit like that.
Especially when those relationships most likely won't work.
Yeah.
So now you're going to put it, they're really dating in real life.
Right.
So it's not like an angle. They really are dating in real life. So now you're turning that, your personal life, into an angle. 9 times out of 10, that kind of fucks the relationship up.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So, like...
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem because it puts way too much stress on the relationship. And usually ends up being the catalyst to break apart the relationship. Probably the most notable example is probably the Maros. But there are many others since then, but that's the one that comes to mind really quickly. But that's a problem. And the other side of the coin is a little bit of a problem too, because then you have to position Lacey and Baron as some sort of love interest on top of it.
No, you don't.
And absolutely, they did. They chose to do it. Not that they had to do it,
I was gonna say
they
you don't
choose to do it. And,
I'd say they didn't really have to do that,
but they did.
Oh,
and that was the other problem I have with it.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because
nobody fucking watches Raw anymore.
Last night, I guess last night was really good. But.
Apparently, I didn't get a chance to watch it. First Raw in a long time that I really don't get to watch, and well, fuck yourselves. Probably should have because I knew what was going on, but whatever. But yeah, why do that? Why pull that card? And the third part of it is that when you start gimmicking a main event like that, I consider it a problem because you could do that on a Raw. You know what I mean? If you're doing a match for just the angle of it, especially when it's the main event, you're taking away from a main event of a pay-per-view that really desperately needed it.
I agree in this instance because there wasn't.
Yeah, there are other times where that's not true because the undercard was better.
Well, yeah, right. But if this wasn't like 4 rematches, I'd say, okay, maybe not do it here for this specific one, but I disagree with you on making it. This would be better for a Raw.
Here's what I
think the selling point of who the guest referee was going to be, they were hoping would sell the pay-per-view.
Okay, to be fair, yes. But here's the other problem, is that you put it at the main event.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
I do. Switch the 2 WWE titles.
No,
I would.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
I know you're fine with it.
Because you
fucking
got
Mark.
because you
fucking
have
WWE apologist. You
Yep.
piece of garbage.
because you have a happy ending at the end anyway, so it doesn't matter what the stipulation is, what the gimmick is.
Nobody
The
got a
fans-
hand job at the end of this show.
Seth Rollins did.
Okay, you got me there.
Match went 18 minutes 35 seconds. Dave must give it 1 star. I give it 2. I'm like, again, more of an angle than a match. I didn't mind it at all.
And just to prove your point, I also gave it 1 star.
So I'm right.
Yeah. Fuck you guys. What was your overall opinion of the show?
Probably better than expected. The show was okay. I thought 2 matches were really good, and then the rest was probably about average. So I give it like 6 out of 10. Like I think the people going in thought this would be shit, but it wasn't bad. It was certainly watchable, I thought.
I disagree with you to a point. I didn't think a lot of the matches were watchable. I give it the Bret Hart. Yeah, it just, nothing really gelled for me. I mean, the best match was a match that was misbooked, in my opinion, which was the Danielson tag title match, I thought.
No, I thought the best match was a tie between Owens and Zayn and New Day, or the U.S. title match.
U.S. title match was nice too, but I think those were the top 2, in my opinion. But really, if you're going to remember this show, I think it's for Ricochet being its first main event or main title win, and basically the beginning of the garbage that is the relationship of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Unfortunately, I could easily see the 2 of them costing each other their own titles.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a show that you're going to go on WWE Network and watch over and over again.
Oh, hell no. So, I know you're kind of itching because we've gone out of order here.
I know, my balls itch.
Yeah, so let's go back. Let's talk about New Japan.
Okay.
You're the India. Oh wait, that's me. Shit. I guess I'm doing this. So let me bring up the wonderful card. I have the card. 9 fucking matches of hell. Let me preface it by saying this. There were matches on this card that I really enjoyed. Really, really enjoyed. Some of them just... Ugh. Let's start with the Jon Moxley thing. Jon Moxley versus Shota Umino. He's basically a young boy that decided to step up. 4 minutes of Moxley basically beating the ever-loving shit out of him. What did you rate it? I don't have Meltzer star ratings.
I do.
Okay.
I also give this 2 1/4.
For a 4-minute match?
I gave it 3/4 of a star. Squash match, nothing more.
I think the best part of the match was after the match, where he said he was going to come into the G1 and then help the other guy to the back. And actually, if you don't watch New Japan promos after the fact, he was actually helping him while talking about the G1 after the fact. It was great. It was actually really funny. I really enjoyed it. But I enjoyed that way more than the match itself. Shingo Takagi, wow.
Takaki? You got something on you. Freudian slip.
Defeated Satoshi Kojima. 11 minutes, 14 seconds. Dave Meltzer gave it
4 1/4.
This was not in the Tokyo Dome. I just want to make sure.
I gave it an exact star less. It was in Osaka.
Yeah, Osaka Joha.
I gave it 3 1/4. Typical strong style match, good but nothing special.
Yeah. It didn't catch me. Usually I tend to enjoy those matches a little bit more. And we'll talk about more down the road. But yeah. Okay, cool.
It was there.
I was like, it was definitely a match. That happened.
Right.
I can't give it anything more than 3 stars. I mean, and maybe I'm just a fucking asshole, but whatever. Jushin Thunder Liger and Yoshihashi defeated the team of Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. Suzuki-gun. What did Dave Meltzer give this?
3.25.
Okay, so Dave Meltzer right off the bat is off. I thought this was a better match than the previous one by far. I thought this was a 4-star match. But also, I think it was more of a swan song for Liger more than anything else. I liked the pairing, but also it was more of a thank you.
Overrating piece of shit.
Okay, here we go.
I rated it less than Meltzer did.
Really?
2.75.
Holy shit.
Above average match that had a lot of action, but nothing really going on.
Really? I thought it was interesting.
I don't think it was Liger's swan song because they're kind of teasing a him and Suzuki match.
Well,
so
that's basically where they're going, is that Liger is done at the Tokyo Dome this coming Wrestle Kingdom. And I believe they're going to do Suzuki Liger for the final match. So I like the fact that they kind of foreshadowed that with this tag match. I really liked it. I don't know. Maybe, once again, maybe I'm the asshole here.
You are the asshole. Definitely.
6-man tag action, trios action.
Fuck you.
Taguchi Japan, which is Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, and Ryusuke Taguchi versus the Bullet Club team of Jay White, Chase Owens, and Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier. Dave Meltzer gave it
2.5.
Uh-oh. I agree with Dave Meltzer.
I gave it 2.75.
You overrating piece of shit.
The match went 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yep.
Thanks for saying that.
I was about to.
Another slightly above average match that was sloppy when Tanahashi was in there. Like, I think he doesn't have it anymore.
I almost wonder if he's doing it on purpose. Because that was kind of the angle that they've been pushing over the last 6 to 8 months, is that he won G1, but he was just so exhausted that once he actually won the title, he didn't have enough in him to actually keep the championship, and he's been on a downward trend ever since. And I wonder if that's actually it sounds strange to say that might be an angle, or maybe it's just a shoot and he's just getting old. You know, whatever.
Yep.
But I don't know. Singles match, never overweight championship. Tomohiro Ishii versus Taichi. 11 minutes, 16 seconds. Dave Meltzer gave it
4 stars.
I love this match. I thought this was amazing. I really did. I gave this 4.5 stars. I thought it was a great, hard-hitting match, unlike the Kojima match, where it was purposeful, but it was really strong and really stiff, but everything had a purpose on it. Whereas the other one was just more of, okay, we're just doing it because it's a cool thing to do. There were a lot of spots in the match that really made both guys shine more than anything else. It showed that Taichi really had it in him. I think that was more of the story, is that when Taichi is pushed, he truly gets a great match, and Ishii is the one that usually pushes him to that limit. And having Ishii be the never overweight champion always is a good thing, personally. But like I said, great match. I loved it.
I hope you step on a Lego.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Literally everything you said, I thought the exact opposite. I thought they were just doing move for move's sake. No story built. Obviously, it's New Japan. It's not going to be story built up in a match, but they're just doing moves for move's sake on a 11-minute, 15-second match. The first 6 minutes were dog shit. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The final 5 minutes finally really picked up. I gave it 3 stars.
Okay, so, I mean, we're not...
It was a good, not off. 1.5 is way off. That's a Baron Corbin match off.
Okay, you got me there. Really? Wow. That's surprising. Oh, God, here we go. IWGP Tag Team Championships on the line. Guerrillas of Destiny versus Evil and Sonata, Los Ingobernables de Japón. Dave Meltzer gave it
3.25.
This went 16 minutes, 38 seconds. What? Wait, how much?
3 1/4.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 1 1/4. I'm like, wait, what? What did you think?
3.
Okay.
It had the classic tag team style formula, where like you get a team starts off hot, then they get on the disadvantage, you wait for the hot tag, and then you get the little 4-way brawl, and then somebody wins it, this time with a roll-up of death. But I thought it was the classic tag team, and it proves that the classic tag team formula still works.
It's capable of getting 3-star matches out of you.
Yep.
And pretty much did the same for me. Okay. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay versus Dragon Lee. 20 minutes, 7 seconds. Dave Meltzer gave it
5 stars.
Where do I begin? Fucking amazing. Back to you.
Fantastic match.
I mean,
but that's not surprising. Will Ospreay may be the most smoothest wrestler, where everything he does look so smooth and so crisp.
Everything's just.
I give it 4.5, and clearly match of the night in a walk.
In a walk.
So I mean, nothing more you can say. This is a match you come and watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Oops, where was this? Got the notebooks.
There was something else there too.
Kenta came out before the match.
That's what it was. It's not listed in my listing, but yeah. Holy shit! Shibata comes out and looks like he's like doing a whole gimmick coming out. People are wondering, is he cleared? Maybe he's coming back? Nope. Even better, Kenta is fucking back in New Japan. Well, actually, he's coming to New Japan. He never actually was in New Japan. But holy shit, he's entering the G1. Shit is about to go down. Everyone's wetting themselves in joy. What is your opinion on basically 2 former WWE guys going into New Japan and immediately going into the G1? Meh. Really? That's all you've got?
I love Lamp.
Okay.
It'll make G1 more interesting.
I don't think it makes a single bit of difference, honestly.
Probably doesn't either.
It will not make... It's nice to see him in G1. It's nice to see him in New Japan, but it won't make a single tad bit of difference. I really don't think so. Now we've gone to probably the best match of the night to probably will I would say probably the most memorable match of the night. Naito versus Ibushi for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Meltzer gave it.
He didn't rate it.
What?
Here's why he didn't rate it. He didn't rate it because he thought the match was too unnecessarily violent. The spot with Ibushi when he looked like he broke his neck on that German.
Holy shit.
He didn't want to glorify it by giving it a star rating like you did with the Concrete Jungle match with Bound for Glory.
Yes.
He didn't want to glorify it by giving it a star rating. I gave it 4 stars. In my notes, I did say Ibushi looked jacked as shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
That German off the apron was nasty. It was a physical match, so a typical Naito match. But I don't really see what Meltzer's saying besides the other German suplex spot. It was a botch. Like, they didn't necessarily need to do that spot, but it was a botch. And shit happens. Maybe don't do that spot, but they decided to do it, and it just botched. So I don't understand what it is. He also gave critical about headbutt that gave Ibushi a goose egg. That I'm actually a little bit more on Meltzer's side with than the German.
I am 100% on Meltzer's side with, because that's how fucking Shibata ended his fucking career.
Right.
So what the fuck are you doing? Seriously.
And I did drop my pencil.
Nice.
But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I thought the match was great, but at the same time, like, the headbutt I thought was more unnecessary than the German spot.
I thought both spots were not necessary for the match. I think that he is right to an extent. To have him not rate the match from that, that's kind of... I don't
Especially a New Japan match.
I
Meltzer not rating a New Japan. That's what's like, really? Like,
I don't understand why he did that. I really don't. He could say all he wants that he doesn't want to glorify it, but it doesn't... It's a hard line to walk. And yeah, we can go back to the concrete jump match where I didn't rate it. But I thought the entire match was a bad idea from the get-go. This was just a couple of spots that were pretty bad.
right.
The German absolutely was a stupid fucking thing. Kota Ibushi is known for stacking his own neck up like it's a fucking accordion. So this is, while it's not a surprise, it's definitely something that he shouldn't be doing. And, you know, that shit adds up after a while.
Yep.
It does. So I get it, but I don't understand why no rating. Okada Jericho. 2-1. They've never met before.
The fuck?
I'm thinking it was Omega. I don't know why. IWG Heavyweight Championship. 25 minutes, 43 seconds. Dave Meltzer gave it, let me guess, 4.5 stars or something.
4.25.
4.25? Okay.
I kind of agree.
It's an Okada match.
I mean, 3 stars?
Yeah.
I mean...
3.5 for me, but yeah.
The match was good, but should have been way better than it was. Way better.
I agree. 100% agree. I thought the match could have dealt with, like I said, it's an Okada match. I mean, what was your overall thoughts on the show?
I thought it was good. 7 out of 10.
I think this show's going to
7.5 out of 10.
Wow, 7.625.
Sure, why not?
Okay, cool. I thought the show will be most notable for the beginning of the end of Kota Ibushi's career, and the fact that Will Ospreay fucking brought it in spades, as he usually does. So, and also Chris Jericho was on the show. I mean, I hate saying it that way, but it's the truth. I mean, I still don't think it's not watchable by any stretch of the imagination. It's good. There are some, I consider, like I said, the Never Openweight Championship match I really liked. But otherwise, I'd give it 7's fair. 7's fair. So where are we to next?
Let's go Ring of Honor now.
Oh, Jesus. Spoiler.
So you didn't
I didn't watch it.
Okay, so this happened June 28th from the UMBC Event Center in Baltimore. There was a pre-show. I skipped it over. It was Roosh versus somebody, but
some asshole. We don't know who he was. So it'll probably be like somebody big or something in like 2 years.
Dalton Castle versus Dragon Lee.
I was waiting for this match. I loved all the promos. How was it, Fat Man?
Well, I'll only start off by saying that Dave Meltzer's star ratings are not out for this yet. So, okay. Match went 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
It was a great match, wasn't it? It was great. Come on. It had to be great.
Disappointing.
Of course.
2 3/4 stars.
That's not.
I think Dalton's still hurt.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wrote my notes were brief. Disappointing match with the talent involved.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't click. I don't know. There's something just was off about the match. I think, like I said, I think Dalton's still hurt.
It's very possible, but that's sad because I really, most of the time when we talk about these matches, or shows that, every once in a while I don't get to them, but eventually I do get to them. So it's sad to hear that something that I definitely was looking forward to didn't really come out as well as it should have.
Right. Next match was...
Who won that?
Oh, Dalton won it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Dalton won.
Wow. Okay.
The Allure versus Jenny Rose and Kelly Klein.
Okay, so Allure is Angelina Love,
Velvet Sky, and Mandy Leon, and the two in the match was Angelina Love and Mandy Leon.
Okay.
And this goes back to the beginning days of the show, how much I've loved Angelina Love.
Oh, yeah.
She looks better than ever, both in looks and even in the ring. She's the best I've ever seen her in the ring.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is where you say, like, half star.
No, better than expected match. Mandy Leon was sloppy when she was in there, but it's because she hasn't wrestled in a while because of an injury, so she was going to be rusty. It was a good decision to have Love anchor the match. 3 stars. Or,
wow.
Sorry, not 3 stars. My bad. 2 3/4 stars. Same as 2 3/4 stars, not 2 3. 2 3/4 stars.
Okay.
A slightly above average match. It was watchable. I think Angelina Love anchored that match well.
Cool. I'll be excited to watch it.
And then Maria Manic debuted after the match. I don't know who she is.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Maria Manic's down in Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Sweet. That's going to be fun.
All right, next math.
Math. I can't math.
I can't. Red. Jay Lethal versus Kenny King. 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Good match.
How great was it?
3 stars. Good match. Amy Rose was like the timekeeper or something. She's now involved with like Kenny King or something, which is stupid. She pretty much handed him a weapon. But it wasn't even a factor in the match, so I even did the spot.
Yeah.
So, King won. He went over to Lethal.
Okay.
Which makes sense because, Lethal's been like a forever ROH champion and King's the up and comer, but the push of Kenny King continues.
I mean, are they looking to put him up at the title?
I think. Well, he won that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That battle royal at G1 Supercard, so he's technically gets a world title shot sometime, or do you already have it? I'm not sure if you already had it or not. But
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Next match was a Pure Rules match, the first time in Ring of Honor in like 11 years or something like that.
Really?
It was Jonathan Gresham versus Silas Young. You don't think Silas Young almost chokes out his beverage.
The fuck?
You don't think Silas Young is in a Pure Rules match? Pretty much a pure Rules matches. It's a wrestling match, except you get 3 rope breaks instead of infinite rope breaks. So, like, say you put someone in a submission 3 times to grab the rope, you put them the 4th time to grab the rope break doesn't count. They can tap out still.
Right.
And, like, you can punch somebody in the face twice, or 1 time, but then after the 2nd time, you're disqualified.
Yeah, there's a few other rules in there, but basically, you're trying to put over the fact that you're a great wrestler.
Yeah, the match went 17 minutes and 55 seconds. I give it 2 3/4 stars. I said technically sound, but kind of boring. The whole lead up of the match was Silas Young kept cheating to win. So that's why it's a pure rules match. So Jonathan Gresham hits a low blow and then puts him in a submission after Silas uses all his rope breaks to win. So what was the point of the pure rules match? Why have it if you're going to do that stupid ending? It was stupid. It was a tit for tat thing, and it was dumb. So, yeah. They could have just had a regular match. It would have been better.
They wanted to do a pure rules match because they hadn't done it in a while. That's what I feel like that they did there. But I don't know for sure because I haven't been watching Ring of Honor weeklies.
Never mind.
And I certainly haven't been watching close enough to Ring of Honor pay-per-views even.
Well, I have. So, By the way, before we go on, we're about halfway through the show. I want to talk about the crowd.
Okay.
Or the non-existence of a crowd.
Really?
There's maybe about high estimate 300 people there.
It's a pay-per-view.
High estimate about 300.
Where the fuck was everybody?
I don't know. Not there.
Where did they hold this?
It was at the UMBC Event Center. I should have done this before. I'm going to look up how much it holds because it's a fairly new building.
UMBC?
University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Oh, so they're in Baltimore?
Yep.
That's a hot spot for Ring of Honor. Why? What the fuck happened to their attendance? A few years ago, they ran a show.
The capacity is 5,000.
And they had maybe 300 there?
Maybe 300.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
5,000 for about 5,300 for end stage concerts, about 46 for basketball. And it opened last year.
So
this is actually right down the road from where Chip lives.
Interesting. If only he were there. Or maybe he would be on the show.
What a bitch.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like the crowd was not. It was maybe high estimate about 300 people.
Okay.
You can, like when they do camera angles, you can easily tell that the place.
There's nobody.
There's nobody there.
Okay, so to give you an idea, Ring of Honor ran Lockport, New York, and if you don't know where Lockport is, good for you because most people don't know where Lockport is, and they drew about 300 people there. In fact, I dare say maybe a little more.
It was definitely more, I think.
Let's see. They had.
I'd say about 5.
They didn't have that many.
Oh.
Well, let me preface it by saying there were a lot of people there that weren't paid.
Okay. So
they drew 300 or so.
The Briscoe brothers versus Nick Aldis, and it was supposed to be Colt Cabana, but he got hurt.
So who did they bring?
Eli Drake.
Okay.
The match went 11 minutes and ended in a fucking double countout.
Go fuck yourself.
I gave it 2 stars. The match was slow until the final 4 minutes. I guess the NWA did not want their champion or new wrestler to take a loss. Didn't see how they couldn't have Didn't see why they couldn't beat the Briscoes. It would make the NWA look good on a bigger stage than what they usually do, especially if the Briscoes got the upper hand in the post-match beatdown.
That's right. They're the NWA Tag Team Champions right now, aren't they?
No.
Briscoes?
No. PCO and Brody King.
Oh, that's right. So what are they? They're the Ring of Honor ones?
Nope.
They're nothing.
They're nothing.
Why didn't they take the loss then?
Exactly.
I thought they were...
Nope.
New Japan?
Nope.
Triple A?
Nope.
Excite?
You were going to say that. No. Nothing. So yeah, so I don't understand why they didn't take the loss, especially when Eli Drake goes after James Storm because he was doing commentary. And
wait, James Storm's there?
He was doing, because he was in a feud with Colt Cabana too, and apparently James Storm's now the new NWA National Champion.
Wait, what? What have I missed?
That was at the TV tapings the night after. He beat Colt Cabana because Colt's injured, and then
that makes sense.
He needed to drop the title.
Wait, he dropped it to James
Storm.
How did fucking James Storm become part of?
He showed up at the Crockett Cup.
Oh, okay. That's an NWA show.
NWA. This was an NWA match, so they had to tie all these fucking things together. So it's a clusterfuck.
Oh fuck!
But no, I don't understand why the Briscoes just didn't lose. Probably ROH bookings like you. Okay, NWA doesn't want their champion to lose or their new guy to lose, but Ring of Honor doesn't want the Briscoes to lose. So we got to think of a fucked up way. It's stupid. I don't know why Ring of Honor is protecting them, but whatever. Considering
that they are fucking legends and would bounce back from any loss that they'd ever take.
Right.
It makes no sense.
No. I agree.
It's bullshit politicking.
Yep. ROH World Television Championship. Shane Taylor defense against Bandito. Match went 12 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay.
It was an okay match for a house show.
Ooh.
Bandito was too fast for Taylor, so he had to wait for the spots to get set up. Their styles didn't mesh well. The match was exciting when Bandito was on offense, but that was few and far between because they wanted to make Shane Taylor look like a monster. It was an average match.
Bandito is a great example of why bringing in lucha stars to do one-offs is not always the greatest thing. And I know Bandito's part of the Ring of Honor roster full-time, but his style is very, very fast, and he's still a little bit green in that respect, too. So he can't modify his moveset. He's got to go like 15 miles an hour every time he goes anywhere. So the problem ends up being where if he has somebody who's not as experienced in that type of match, will be completely lost 2 minutes in the match and makes everyone look bad.
And that's what exactly.
And that sounds like what happened there.
Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championships. Villain Enterprises defense against Lifeblood.
Okay, so the only thing I heard about this show was Animal being pissed that the Villain Enterprises copied their shoulder pads?
Yes and no.
Okay, I saw the pictures of them. It's obviously a tribute to them. It's not exactly some, they're ripping off the fucking Road Warriors gimmick or anything like that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's Animal trying to get himself over. That's what it sounds like to me. But maybe there was legitimacy to it. Do you feel there was legitimacy to it?
Legitimacy to Animal being pissed?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Then it's
just
mark
him
for
being.
himself.
I was just gonna say he's just being a mark. Oh, he's being a mark for himself. I was literally just gonna say that. Oh, the match was 16 minutes and 55 seconds. Match of the night. Clearly. 3 3/4 stars. PCO still amazes me about the bumps he's willing to fucking take. Oh my god. At 51 years old, how the fuck is he still alive after these bumps?
I seriously don't know.
I think there was a bump he took. I don't remember what it was, but I was just like, holy shit. Like, it's amazes me. Easily best match of the night in a while. PCO was still a little bit sloppy, but the match didn't suffer. It's just one of those things where I think he's just 51 years old and just couldn't keep up with the young guys, so he kind of was trying to rush in, trying to be faster than he is, trying to keep up with them, instead of them slowing down for him.
Right. Well, to be fair, PCO is trying to do... His gimmick is the fact that he's unbreakable, he's unkillable, but he's been revived from death, basically. So he's not going to be that fast. He's not going to be that, agile of the person. He's there because he can take punishment and still dish it out. So to build a match around guys that are faster than him is probably not the best thing to do if you're going to anchor him in maybe a spot where he's the babyface in peril on the 6-man. That's probably not the best thing to do. He's great for hot tags. He's great for stuff like that. I don't know how they booked the match, obviously, because I didn't see it yet. But if I were booking something like that, I would not have him be that, oh my god, he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
Right. After the match, Villain Enterprises introduced their newest member.
Oh my goodness!
Flip Gordon.
Oh. Okay.
Like, it was weird. Like, they were the faces in the match, and then Bully Ray comes down to attack Lifeblood. Flip Gordon comes down to chase Bully Ray away. Lifeblood gave him a t-shirt. He puts it on, and then on the screen, there's a pre-taped interview with Marty Scurll introducing the newest member as Flip Gordon. Then Flip Gordon comes out, and then Villain Enterprises comes back out, and then destroys Lifeblood again. So they turned heel while still being heel, while being a face? Like,
who booked this shit?
Early.
God damn it.
Yeah, and then Flip Gordon does a 450 through a table on one of the guys, and looked like he separated his shoulder. It's like, great. But he didn't because he was at the table next night. But.
God damn it.
All right, main event. ROH World Championship. Matt Taven defends against Jeff Cobb.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's right. Who won?
Match went only 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Taven won clean.
Wow. That's Cobb's first loss then, right? I believe it is. I'm not 100%
In
sure.
Ring of... No,
Ring of Honor.
he lost to the TV title to Shane Taylor. So, no.
One-on-one?
He lost the TV title, so probably, yeah.
I thought it was a triple threat.
It doesn't... Well, whatever. I don't...
I mean, I'm talking about first pinfall loss. They were protecting the shit out of him. That's wwhy I'm surprised.
Taven was bumping like crazy for Cobb, which is what you wanted for the heel champion should do. The match was too short and ended out of nowhere. Cobb looked like he hurt himself because he took a dive and he looked like his shoulder, right where his neck was, went right into the guardrail.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking they cut the match short because, like, he fucked up a spot. You can hear Taven go, "What the fuck was that?" No, you could clear as day. Taven goes, "What the fuck was that?" And then he talked to Cobb a little bit, and then he hit his climax finisher, which spiked him right on his head. And,
I love that.
And then he pinned him clean. So
everyone loves.
I think the match was supposed. I think obviously Taven was supposed to win if that was the finish, but
that's surprising though.
But I think the match was supposed to be a lot longer than it was. I think Cobb was legit hurt because he wasn't at the TV tapings the next day.
Okay. So, overall impression of the show?
It was an okay show for a house show.
It certainly was a house show attendance.
Oh my god, it was bad. Guess who doesn't have a show bladder?
You little shit. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about Fyter Fest. But first, before we do that, we're going to talk about ShopGear.com. ShopGear.com, this is our Amazon affiliate link. So if you go to ShopGear.com, you see Amazon. Go through, you buy your normal stuff through Amazon. Same price as if you went to the show, the actual website directly. And then what happens is after you check out, a little bit of the proceeds goes right back to the Gear Network. It helps us promote our show. It helps you, us in being able to say, hey, support us. This is the way to do it. Go through, do your normal Amazon purchases, the same price like I said before. So go to shopgear.com, ShopGear.com. Also, I want to put out there once again the WNY PodCon. That's going to be August 3rd from 10 till 6. We will be there together to do a live show. Also, I will be there personally from 10 till 6. Fatman will be there from 10 till about 2. This is at the Frontier Fire Hall in Niagara Falls, New York. This is the first annual event. Tickets are only $10. You can get them on the Facebook event post that I can put in our liner notes tonight. But other than that, go check us out there. And of course, once again, thewrestlingshow.com. Go to our merch. Buy our new t-shirt. I hope you step on a Lego. Fat Man is back. He has emptied his bladder, so that means I'm done with plugging.
He loves the butt plugs.
I do.
It's so funny now because I'm on this medication that makes me drink more because it dehydrates me, and also one of the side effects is dehydration and you pee more. So I got to drink more to pee more. So it's like, great. I have to drink more to stay hydrated, but the side effect is to make me pee, so I'm peeing way more than I normally do.
I'm sitting across from Fat Man. He's got 2 entire bottles of water waiting.
1.5.
Oh, okay.
So for what, an hour? I think I'm done pretty good with only a half.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Normally, I'm already on my second one.
That is true. That is definitely true. What are we doing? Fyter Fest?
Let's do Fyter Fest.
Okay, did you watch the buy-in?
I did not.
Okay, so the buy-in had 2 matches on it. The first one was a 6-man. I think it was 2. I'm pretty sure it was 2.
You sure? I thought there was 3.
Maybe there was 3. There was 3. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, God. There's 3 pre-show matches and there were 6 main? Right?
Yes.
Counting correct? Yeah. So there's 9 matches in total if you include the buy-in.
Right.
So you missed a third of the show. What the hell?
Oh, well.
No. There was one match that really was the thing to watch, which was the 6-man tag. That was SCU, well, I shouldn't say 6-man. It was triple threat tag, whatever. It was SCU versus Private Party versus Best Friends. This was the match that immediately solidified Private Party's contract with AEW. It was phenomenal from what
Cross
everyone...
that off.
Cross that off immediately. I don't know who's actually rating this.
Oh, you found somebody else's ratings?
somebody actually rated this.
Dave Mouse's ratings aren't out yet.
Yeah, and this guy seems... Who is this? Oh, it's Wug Culture. Ooh.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, so ignore pretty much all the ratings I'm about to give you. I liked this match, and I came close to his rating, though, to be fair. He gave it 3 3/4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. It was absolutely amazing. Of course, I'm a huge Best Friends fan, so that probably helped a lot. This guy puts out the fact that, once again, Private Party is amazing. But all 3 teams did a really great job. Next match was Leva Bates versus Allie.
Blue Pants!
I love Blue Pants. I love Allie. If you're not familiar with who Allie is,
Cherry Bomb!
Or Undead Allie, I guess? I still find it hilarious that Braxton Sutter is still working for Impact, but his wife's working for AEW. I find
Dean Ambrose is working for AEW, and his wife's working for WWE.
Yeah, but okay, let me put it this way. One person's getting paid way more than the other.
That's true.
Okay, let's just throw that out. And don't get me wrong, that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not a bit. And that makes it sound even worse by saying that. But it's just it kind of reminds me of how you wonder who's the better talent.
To be honest, I always thought Cherry Bomb was better than Pepper Parks.
I will say this.
So
the shit he's been doing in ESW has been amazing. As the Blade.
Oh, yeah.
So
I thought it was the Butcher.
It's the Blade.
Oh, whatever.
He's got that sweet ass fucking music.
Yeah.
It's great. It's hilarious. But anyway, so back to the other part of that. Cherry Bomb is amazing. Love Cherry Bomb. Hate it. Now, don't get me wrong. I may or may not have did a promo for the librarian gimmick. Maybe. Okay. But it's gone on too long. It really truly has. The whole we're going to put everyone over as the librarian. Leva Bates is their librarian. Okay, get it. I got it. Let's move on from it. It's kind of bush league at this point. The match, star and 3/4? Yeah. This guy gives it star and 3/4. It was not a star and 3/4. It was about a star. But it was one of those matches was like stupid. It was kind of stupid. The match was stupid. Let's just put it that way. And then you had, for the last one, for the buy-in, it was Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabali. Now, have you heard of either one of these people?
Negative Ghost Rider.
I don't know. I really can't rate this match because I've never seen either one of these guys. It was kind of, once again, it was stupid. It was a hardcore match, but it was a comedy match. Yeah. That's all I need.
Then why have a hardcore match if it's going to be a hardcore comedy match?
It was.
What is this, Chikara?
I mean, yeah. I want to point out that one of the top talents in AEW. How many are there? Hang on. 2, 3. 3 for sure. Because both the Bucks and Bryce Reddins worked for Chikara.
Did they start in Chikara?
Bryce did.
And
I believe
Young Bucks did not.
Young Bucks were one of the first ones there. One of their first major promotions was Chikara. because that was before they were Generation Me. So, PWG. They were known in PWG, yes, but PWG. We'll just let it go. Let's get to the main card. Christopher Daniels versus Shima. Once again, we need to get the point over. They are Japanese wrestlers working in China. What did you think of this?
Match went 9 minutes and 40 seconds. 3 stars.
Asshole gave it 3 stars here as well.
Match was a good match just to get Cena over. Get Cena a win for his match against Omega at Fight for the Fallen.
Right.
That was literally the only reason why. Just to give him a TV quote unquote match over a quality opponent before his big match. That was the purpose.
That is the man to do it. I mean,
100% agree. But
Christopher Daniels is a fucking. I don't know how he does what he does at his age. I really don't.
But that was the purpose of it.
The difference between ages between PCO and Daniels, isn't Daniels like 48?
It's 3 years, 2 or 3 years. No, he's 49. He's turning 50 next year.
So there's the difference.
2 years.
The man looks the same as if he was wrestling 15 years ago. Maybe longer. I dare say even longer. He almost was the higher power. Triple threat women's match. Yuka Sakazuki versus Rio versus Nyla Rose.
12 minutes and 30 seconds. 3.5 stars.
This guy gave it... I don't even know who this is. I should probably look in who the fuck this is. He gave it 4 stars. I agree with you. 3.5 stars. It was a nice match. It was a really great way to give Nyla Rose that impressive... they really needed to push her a little bit more because of the fact that the first match with the 4-way kind of pushed her off to the side because it was making more of a statement for Britt and Kylie Ray. So to give Nyla Rose this spot was a great idea in my opinion.
It's a really good match. Rio continues to impress me, and the one thing that really it bugs me with the crowd. The "This is awesome" chant.
I know how you love that chant,
especially when it wasn't awesome. It was. This is really good. Like, I think they were trying to...
Yeah, but that doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
I understand, but fuck TNA for starting that anyway. But I think they did it just to... It was like a respect thing. Be like, okay, you guys are impressing us. We're going to give you this chant, even though it wasn't deserved. So it was a nice gesture, I would say, but not really one... It was to give them the rub. I don't know.
You're giving the women's division a rub,
right?
And to be fair, they deserve that.
Yeah, they did. But if this is awesome, it bugs me when they have a "This is awesome" chant. It's like, no,
it just bugs you. Period. I don't think you've ever seen.
No, there have been chants like "This is awesome." Like, yeah, my God, this was awesome. But there have been chants for "This is awesome." Like, it's a headlock. Hooray for headlocks!
Hey,
like,
do not disparage the headlock.
Especially when Alexa Bliss got concussions off.
And of course, no one kicks out the Falcon.
Yeah. Other than that, it was a really good match.
Yeah. Fatal 4-way, Hangman Page versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc versus MJF.
10 minutes and 50 seconds. 3.5 stars.
This is a shining example of why, even though I have taken my ass and pressed it into his face, that I'm a huge fan of MJF.
By osmosis now.
Pretty much, yeah. He has taken my shit and made it into gold. And I don't know any other way to put it. This asshole gave it 3.5 stars. I thought the Page MJF ending made sense for where they were going with all this. I thought it was a great way to further the feud without doing too much with it. Because this was so. I'll let you get your thoughts out on this after this, but I want to talk about a little bit more of what Fyter Fest is and why this show was here. And
Okay.
yeah, after this.
I said it was a really good match, but again, another match that was just on the show to put Adam Page, to give Adam Page a win before his ECW AEW championship match,
which
it was
honestly they needed.
Yep, just to give him the win. But that was the only reason it's there.
But then again, it was a great way of tying in the MJF feud too.
It was, but
I mean, they did multiple things with it. I think that was obviously that's going to be the main part of this. Obviously, was put over Adam Page as a legitimate contender, but also it puts everybody in the match kind of on, I don't want to say even footing, but definitely at an upper elite level. Because these guys were all facing what could potentially be the crowning of
the inaugural AEW champion.
Right. So
okay,
so let's talk about what this was. So they decided to run this show. I don't even know how this all came up. So first things first, it's not Fight for the Fallen. I thought this was Fight for the Fallen for some weird reason. I thought this was their show. But this was a great way. It was like I don't want to say it was a subpar, but it was more of a elite house show vibe. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
And I thought they did a great job with it. There was a lot of people that bashed this show, though. Did you hear any of that?
I for the next match mostly.
Okay.
But we'll get to it when we get to it. But no, other than that, I thought, everyone's like, oh, it was nothing like Double or Nothing. Well, it wasn't supposed to be.
It was supposed to be.
It was live on Bleacher Report to give eyes who haven't seen the product before eyes on the product.
Right.
I mean, I have criticisms for the matches. Don't get me wrong, especially coming up later. And I think they're justified. But it wasn't with the match quality.
There was an entire sense that the entire show was garbage. That was a lot of people said that. And there's no way this was not garbage.
Look,
where there were pieces of the show that I don't agree with. Oh, we'll talk about that. You obviously where I'm going to go with this.
Yep.
But, I think that there was way too much of a sense of it wasn't WWE quality, so therefore, like, one of the biggest complaints I heard was, oh, they're doing that set? The same set as Double or Nothing? Is that the only set they got? Really?
WWE runs the same
Fuck
set.
You guys.
WWE runs the same set for every show.
Exactly. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit criticism just to put down AEW. Remember the whole, they're just a t-shirt company until they have some talent. Okay, they're just a t-shirt company until they run a show. Okay, they're just a t-shirt company until they sell a bunch of pay-per-view buys. Okay, they're just a t-shirt company until they run multiple events. Okay, they're just a t-shirt. At what point do you just give up?
Right.
They are a legitimate promotion now. Are they number 2 as we talked about before with Dave Meltzer? No, because they haven't gotten to that point because they haven't run a bunch of shows. Do I think that they are on the absolute right path? Do I think they're absolutely killing these shows in terms of a startup promotion? Absolutely. These shows are better than probably any promotion I've seen for the first 2 shows that they've ever done.
Right.
So I'm giving them a lot of props to that. But also part of that is the fact that they have a fucking huge ass bank account backing them. And they're able, it's easy to run a WWE quality show when you've got a few million in your back pocket. So, but to be fair, they've done a great job in utilizing that resource to create a great product.
Right. No, I agree.
So, let's talk about it. Oh my God.
You're the one running the segment.
I know. Darby Allin versus Cody. Now, I've seen Darby Allin work multiple times. I've seen Cody work twice for Excite. Okay, first of all, let's start with the trust fall. Having Darby Allin basically take a trust fall off the top rope onto the apron was probably one of the more ridiculously unnecessary bumps in the entire match. Now, we talked earlier with Dominion and the German suplex bump. I dare say this one was worse.
It was worse because this was planned. Like the German suplex spot was planned. It was a botch. This one was planned.
Yeah, but both of them were planned. But the way Coda got piled on was the botch.
Right.
But both spots suffer the same problem of they shouldn't have been done in the first place, I think.
Right.
So, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, yeah, this is a great, huge, fucking place to... Oh, how should I put this? This is the point to make your name in the company. Okay, I get it. Darby isn't technically signed that we're aware of. Darby is a great top indie talent. He's booked on this show against fucking Cody Rhodes. You take your spot and you make it your own. Okay? I get that. But holy shit, what the fuck are you doing here? That being said, the match was really great. I really enjoyed the match, other than the fact that there were many risky moments in that match. And in the post-match, too. I gave it 4 stars. Oh, damn. This guy gave it 4 stars as well. Ooh. What did you give it?
4 stars.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Oh, I was surprised.
Can you turn the light on? I can't see shit now once this is getting dark. Like, it's not, obviously. I'm going to try to read this. First of all, Brenny Rose was looking all the way live. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. I said, Allen is insane in the ring. He's super quick and and the word I used was unnecessary risks with bumping.
That's his style in the Indies too, to be fair. But the stuff he pulled this time around,
it was a weird way the match was booked because the announcers were all like, "Oh, why did Cody take a match against Darby Allin? Like Darby Allin's like insane, like blah blah blah." And then Cody dominates 3/4 of the match,
and then have a time limit draw.
Made no sense. Because at the end they were trying to be like, oh, you know, like Cody was trying to like, oh man, it takes me this long to beat the guy, but yet everyone was hyping Allen as like this threat when you're just fucking destroying him. It made no sense.
The problem was there are 2 problems with the match doing it this way. If you're going to have that as a finish, you need to have a little bit more of it's Cody Rhodes versus some indie guy. And don't get me wrong, and I'm already hearing the fucking smart heat already. But Darby Allin, in terms of AEW and this show specifically, he's an unknown. That's the problem with doing a finish like this, is that either you need to put him over. If you're going to bring him into the company as a full-time wrestler, if you're going to put him over as a sheer threat, you got to put him over. Period.
Even if he just beats up Cody. But the whole point of it then was the post-match with Ty Dillinger coming down, or Sean Spears, whatever the fuck his name is, coming down, and
he's a pickle.
He's a what?
He's a pickle.
Coming down and blasting Cody Rhodes.
Blasting?
I still, after multiple watches, I still don't understand how the back of his head got busted. I still don't see how the back of his head got that busted open.
Okay, so I also watched it multiple times. I watched somebody slow it down to like 5x, or 5 frames per second, I should say. So it'd actually be like, what? A 16? I can't do that.
Whatever.
Whatever it is. 12. And then I saw an actual screen cap of it. So what happened is, from what I gather, is that when he got hit with the chair, the upper lip of the chair itself, so you have the back of the chair, that lip right there, actually came over and it almost like hit him and hooked him, kind of, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And that's where the busting came into play. Now, I'm going to sit here and say there's two ways that this conversation went. One side of the conversation said, well, there are two professionals in the ring. They were going to do that. The chair was gimmicked or whatever, and it was just a bad hit, and they're professionals, blah, blah, blah. The other side of this is, I don't give a fuck how gimmick the chair is.
Don't do it.
What the fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing? We've had this conversation for years now. I get you're trying to make, Spears look like a fucking badass, but what the fuck are you doing with unprotected headshots? I don't give a fuck if you're trying to get somebody over. That is not the way to do it. And all it does is make, unfortunately, you guys look like fucking shindies. And don't get me wrong, I've said this multiple times, even on the show, in this episode, that I love AEW. I think they're a great company. They've done a great job of what they've done to this point. But Cody's exact thing here, his exact spot, should absolutely not be happening in 2019. What the fuck are you doing?
I agree. Just don't do the spot.
And there are guys that defend this spot, and there are very well-respected guys that I personally respect that are defending the spot. I absolutely disagree with them. And maybe I'm just a fucking mark. Maybe I'm just a fucking mark on a podcast that's been running for nearly 7 years. Maybe I'm just a fucking worker. But I wouldn't. That is number one thing for me. I have said it time and time again in the back. I will do pretty much any spot that anyone will ask me on this. And this is kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, but I don't care, because I think it's important for this point. I will do any spot that involves my body. Okay? You cannot hit me in the head with anything. No weapon. Not a cane, not a crutch, not a pan, nothing. That is one of those, I don't do it. I simply don't do it. Other guys do it. Other guys do other things. I'll take staple gun spots. I'll do stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with getting hit in the head, to the point where I had to change a spot with somebody that their first thing was like, oh, we'll just hit you in the head and that'll be it. And I was like, no, I don't do headshots. Oh, well, we'll do something else. So people are okay with that, but it's one of those things where, why would you even do that? So I guess that was a roundabout point of saying, don't fucking do it! On the main event.
Wrong.
Really? Am I missing one?
Yep.
I am missing one. I'm missing a big one. Shit.
Uh-huh.
6-man tag? So it's Grand Akuma, Ken, and Ryu versus the Lucha Bros and, oh god, was it
Laredo Kid?
It wasn't originally supposed to be Laredo Kid. Spoiler. Who was it? Fat Man?
It's supposed to be Sleazy.
No. It was supposed to be Pac.
Oh, was it?
It was originally supposed to be Pac.
I'm away from the microphone. Was it supposed to be Pac?
Yeah, it was definitely supposed to be Pac.
No.
It still was a great match. I mean, Laredo Kid was a great alternative, I guess you'd say. But, yeah, fucking amazing. I loved it. 4.5 stars. Absolutely beautiful.
Overrating piece of shit.
Yeah, I knew that was
3 3/4 stars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love this match.
I like the Street Fighter aspect. That was fun.
It was fun. It was cool.
I said it was a great match, but it was not like the past Young Bucks or Lucha Bros matches where they're now just doing moves for move's sakes. Now they're just doing moves for pops. So it was not, wasn't, you know what I mean, doing a move and then doing another, and then setting up for another move. Just doing move after move after move after move just to do them and then the finish.
Right. Well,
which again was to give Kenny Omega a fall because he lost to Jericho.
And he's,
that was the point.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. This asshole gave it 4.5 stars, so
you're wrong.
I must be wrong. Although we've agreed completely with him at one point. So.
Yep.
Now the main event, which is, I don't even know what the main event is. That's a lie. Joey Janela, Jon Moxley in a quote unquote unsanctioned match. Let's hear it.
I'm indifferent about this match.
Really?
First of all, prosthetic leg. What is this? 2CW?
Nice.
High spots, but no selling. A lot of waiting in between spots to get set up. What was the point of the stipulation?
So they could do thumbtacks. That sweet-ass spot with Joey Janela on the thumbtack.
I understand it, but what was the point? Was it to prove that Moxley isn't PG anymore? So what? Who cares? What was the point of the stipulation? Why go through all that? They're just having now an unsanctioned match just to have an unsanctioned match. With no build, no setup. They're just having a match to have a match.
Well, the build, to be fair, the build was... That's not 100% true. The build to the match was... Originally, they were just going to have a regular match, but because both Joey Janela, who's a GCW guy, and Jon Moxley, who was a CZW guy, were both very well known for death matches, and that's what brought this together.
So what?
It was a great main event to pop a crowd that doesn't normally see that on a large stage.
I'm totally against that.
I disagree. I disagree only because
you're okay
these two guys.
It doesn't matter who they are. It does not matter if you are indifferent about headshots. There's no reason in 2019 to be slammed on barbed wire just to be slammed on barbed wire on a quote main promotion show. No reason with I don't care what it is. No build. There was no build. No reason with no build. It was just to do it. Why?
When would you do this match then?
Build it. Build it for fucking all out. Don't just be like...
So, I mean, what do you do?
I know you're going to have Moxley versus Omega, but at the same time, like, now you're like, okay, we're having Moxley versus Janela. Oh, by the way, a day before the show. Oh, no, it's not sanctioned now. Who cares? To me, the way the announcers were talking, it was just to prove that Moxley's not PG anymore. He's back to the old Moxley, which you could have done without all this shit.
I disagree with that. I really do disagree with that because there's a point where okay, let's get to the match first, and then I'll say why I disagree with that. First of all, I 100% agree with you on the fact that no selling, and I think the worst offender here was Moxley.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because there were times where he took a barbed wire shot and then he got back up and was setting up his own spots.
Yep.
It did suffer from ladder match tropes where do the spot, 5 minutes, set up another spot. Do a spot, set up another
The
spot.
camera work wasn't great in the match either because like you'll have Moxley take a big spot and then the camera work will be like where you see Moxley and Janela, but Moxley's just sitting there looking at Janela like, come on, hurry up, let's go. I think camera work wise, it didn't help the performers.
Oh no, it didn't.
So,
but that being said, there were a lot of great moments in the match. Well, let's say it for what it was. It was a spot fest. It was absolutely meant to be a spot fest, and it delivered in that respect. There were a lot of interesting and innovative spots. I liked the thumbtack to the feet spot. That was really nice. I didn't like the dirty deeds onto the thumbtacks because John Moxley took all the thumbtacks. That was kind of stupid. I also am not a huge fan of the fact that this match was there to put over the fact that the post-match beatdown. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing. That was another
I will
thing,
agree with that.
Problem I had with the match. You have an unsanctioned match, and then you get a post-match beatdown.
That was hardcore.
That wasn't as hardcore as the match.
True.
So what's the point of it? Like, I have no problem with the match quality. The problem is, why is this happening? Just for happening's sake? What are you, Vince Russo? You're just having matches just to have stip matches? Why? That's my problem with it. Why is this match happening? Just cause?
It's a second show, and it's a showcase card for their talent.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it at all.
The rest of the show is like that.
I understand it. For this match, I don't buy that explanation.
Why wouldn't you? I mean,
why would you?
What brought you to this show?
Not this match.
You would be very few and far between.
If it was a regular one-on-one match, I'd probably be like, okay, fine. But if it's an unsanctioned match, just to have an unsanctioned match,
I think it was an absolute one of the big draws of the match. It was to have a hardcore match between two very well-known hardcore wrestlers.
That's fine, but I don't buy it. Not when it's your second show with no build. I'm old school that way.
I know.
Build it.
I totally understand that, but
What's the point of you? What's the point? That's what my problem is.
The point is to
what is the point?
There's three reasons to do that. Number one is you're putting over a show with two major talents. Number two, you're putting over John Moxley as, once again, not PG anymore, which is what they were doing.
Stupid.
You could say it's stupid, but that's what they were doing.
It was stupid because he proved it at Double or Nothing.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He proved that he was unstable.
Wiggles!
Hello. The official mascot of the wrestling show is here. Wiggles. But you may disagree with it, but it was a point.
Yeah.
And number three is that it was a great highlight reel.
All you had, this would be a bigger point. Come to AEW, we have everything for you.
Which is absolutely true on the show.
Right.
You had comedy,
but
you
the
had
thing
strong
is,
style, you had lucha style matches,
right.
You had a hardcore match, you had legends, you had guys that were from other countries, you had women's wrestling that was great. You know, they really truly had
If they would have said that and been like, hey, come see this unsanctioned match, we have everything for you, that's fine. But to be like, we're having a regular match, we're just going to switch it. Okay. Why? Just cause? That's my problem with it. Just cause? Like,
I'm gonna throw this at you. It's Josh Jenner booking. It truly is. They're drawing to that one show. They're not looking at long-term story other than the fact that they had stuff built in already.
But that makes no sense. If they're not drawing to long-term story, but yet they're promoting their shows for long source junks.
This is no different than when they have, and I know this is a completely different situation because it is WWE, so a hardcore match there is not the same thing, or a street fight.
No.
But when you have a house show where they're advertising, let's say, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins in a street fight, of course that's not going to be that much of a match.
That's not the problem.
But it's a draw to the
The problem
show.
is they're advertising Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins and then be like, oh, by the way, now it's a street fight.
They've done that at the show, though.
Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time...
Do you disagree with that, though?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then at least
that's
you're
my
consistent,
problem.
though.
That's my problem with it. Like, if you're going to have a street fight, why not advertise it as a street fight?
I think it was...
I found out about it when I was doing news and rumors after the show.
Okay.
Because I was going through news and rumors, being like, "Oh, AEW announces Street Fight for tonight's Fighter Fest or on stage for." I'm like, really? They announced it day of? So probably what happened is they got to the building and was all like, "We want to do this type of match." They're like, "Okay, you got creative control. Go ahead, man." Guarantee you, that's what happened. They're just having that match to have the match.
I disagree, but I I understand.
By the way, it was a good match, 3.5 stars. But
right. Well, I would give it a little bit more than that personally, but once again, I think I believe your points are valid. Don't get me wrong. I just don't believe in this particular circumstance they're correct. In my opinion. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
I think in another promotion that's more established, in a place where they are living and dying at one show at a time right now, I think this needed to happen. And I think it was a good idea.
But they're not living and dying by one show right now.
They are in the fact
that
they're starting up.
They are behind. They have $1 billion guy behind them.
I'm not saying that
it's like the Yankees and Red Sox. If they go out and buy a guy for $100 million and he doesn't pan out, it's not going to hurt them as much because they're going to have money coming in. But if the Reds do it, it's going to hurt them more because they just spent money on a guy that's not going to help. That's the point that we've been making. It's easy to start up a wrestling show when you have a billionaire behind you.
Oh, absolutely.
So essentially, you can make the point saying they can afford to do this because there's no build. I don't agree with it, but they're just having the match to have match's sake. Again, if they were like, hey, come see AEW on Bleacher Report free, we got everything for you from women's wrestling to comedy wrestling to hardcore matches. It'll be great. And technical wrestling, we have everything for everything. Great. But to announce it day of, I'm like, really? Just cause? Like, that's my problem. And that's the old school.
You just
that's
feel
the old
like
school
that,
thinking.
Okay. I get that. I just don't agree. I do.
I think it's, sorry, as I'm sucking on the mic. I think it's bad marketing. Even though for a free show, they can get away with it, I think it's bad marketing. 100% I think that's bad marketing.
Okay. So we've got...
And again, nothing wrong with the in-ring action. It's just the booking around it that I didn't really like. So it's WWE? Yeah. I think that was the problem with most people saying. Like the Cody Rhodes thing. Why book that match to make Darby Allin a threat and then Cody squash him? Like, I don't know.
Right. I mean, there were some definitely questionable booking situations here. But let's shelve AEW for now. So today, on a wonderful, wonderful episode of the Wrestling Show, we have the producer of all things Smash Wrestling, Alan Taylor. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I listened to your last episode and you were roasting everyone and everything, so I was a little nervous coming on, to be honest.
Oh, don't worry. It only goes downhill from here.
Sounds good. So, who is Sleazy and who's Fat Man?
I am Sleazy.
I'm Fat Man.
And how did you get those names?
Oh, I thought we were interviewing him. Okay, so in middle school, Sleazy liked this. His name's Mike, kayfabe, kayfabe broken.
Already.
Okay.
His name's Mike. He liked this girl who was dating 2 other guys, and I'm like, that's just Sleazy. And
that is a little sleazy.
And then the name stuck, and I'm fat, so he's like, well, I got to think of a nickname for you. You're a Fat Man. So, and then
you're like, if I'm going to be sleazy, you got to have something equally as questionable.
Right.
Sounds good.
So, how are you doing tonight? I know we had a lot of bits and pieces trying to make this interview work. So what were you doing today?
Today I was actually at the venue we're going to be at in August for the SummerSlam weekend shows. Going over internet and lighting and audio requirements. So like all the technical stuff that makes the show actually work. Someone else had been there previously and made sure, yes, we can fit chairs in there. But
it's a good start.
More than that these days. It's always a good start, So it's a beautiful venue. It really is a really nice space. I'm kind of excited about how we can dress it up a little bit and what it'll look like on camera.
So let's talk a little bit about that weekend. You're hosting such promotions as Progress and WXW out of Germany. So what brought this collaboration together?
So we worked with Progress a couple of years ago. We actually early on had a very similar kind of trajectory to Progress. Like we literally started the same month, same year, same kind of idea. Like there aren't shows that we want to see as fans, so let's make them ourselves. And it was all kind of like self-funded, bootstrap. Kind of from there. The big difference, of course, is Progress has a very different market in the UK. And the eyes of the wrestling world was turning to England at the time anyway. And as a result, they were able to really rapidly to build up from there. And it helps that these guys, we're a group of people that love wrestling. We know wrestling, but we're not traditional promoters. Progress is built off traditional promoters. They know what they're doing. They know really early on how to take advantage of a marketplace and an audience and build and grow it. And they've done an absolutely fantastic job. So we worked with them previously. We had our championship change hands at one of the shows in London, and that followed on with a pair of shows in Toronto in 2016. And we've really always been looking for an opportunity to work together since. Meanwhile, WXW, they have kind of a European independent wrestling network that they run. And we worked out a deal with them to be pretty much the exclusive home, that's not Smash on Demand, for a full Smash Wrestling events in Europe. And it kind of grew from there. Again, similar values behind the scenes, similar kind of ideals of what we want out of a relationship in wrestling. We try really hard to have positive, mutually beneficial, not arrangements, like partnerships basically with like companies that have similar values to us, and they fit in really well there as well. So when we looked at SummerSlam, we kind of thought, well, we don't want to do the WrestleMania week deal because you have all these companies trying to put on like the best indie wrestling show, and everyone's competing with each other. But we thought it'd be cool if we could bring like a whole bunch of different, unique shows into the same place. So Smash versus Progress is going to be very different from the actual Progress show itself. WXW has like their show, which is, it's a unique environment itself. Plus they're doing Ambition, which is more like a shoot style kind of tournament. It's probably most relatable to like the Bloodsport shows.
Yeah.
And then with the women's show, we've always been really big on women's wrestling in Canada. And we had a previous relationship with Rise and Shimmer. And there was talk of Femme Fatale doing a show that week. And I think that they were thinking like maybe they weren't going to do it. There's a big expense to kind of like coming out of your home city to do a show and you don't have like the local kind of support there. So we reached out to them and said, look, be a part of this with us. And they jumped on. So we've got this absolutely incredible women's show. It's just like, I mean, literally never before seen something like this, and it's a absolute madhouse of talent.
It is for sure.
Same thing with OWE, good people that share our core kind of values and beliefs, and had a great meeting with them, and they're really interested in bringing the OWE experience to Toronto, as well as they're doing some stuff in the UK later this year as well. And like that product is, I think it's very talked about, but not necessarily seen. And it's very, very unique. It's like Cirque du Soleil. You've got the acrobatics, you've got the wrestling, you've got the storytelling, you've got these kind of unique characters, and it's a bit of a gymnastics exhibition as well, all whilst telling stories from Chinese culture. Absolutely incredible. So the idea, basically, let's put together a bunch of shows that are all unique, one of a kind promotions, and stuff you can't see every day. Like, this is a bucket list weekend,
Absolutely, for sure.
Right, and you kept saying that you got the same values and beliefs. What do you define what those are?
So at its core, the whole idea with Smash is it's a group of friends putting on the shows that they want to see, right? But as a result, like our core values are things like a positive, collaborative working environment with our talent and our staff, an all-inclusive place where anyone from any background, whether it be ethnicity or culture or language or orientation or gender, can come together and have like a kick-ass experience on an awesome wrestling show. And really built on quality wrestling as well, high quality wrestling. Progress is known for really high quality wrestling. WXW is known for really high quality wrestling, and I think that's a big part of the allure for a Smash Wrestling show as well. We bring a lot of like young, unique talents in, and get a chance to shine or to work in front of a new crowd, but for the most part, we're trying to present some of the absolute best that the area has to offer.
Right, I was taking a look at your roster and how many people have been through Smash. Man, you got a who's who has been through there. Like, currently you got Jay Freddy, who's been through there, Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano,
Yep.
like people like that have just been walking through the doors there. Now, that's what made you passionate about the wrestling business to begin with?
That's a pretty big question. So for me, it's the usual story. I was a fan as a kid, kind of started to fall out of it. Went to college and didn't really know anyone, and met my buddy there, who's still my best friend and my best man to this day. Also liked wrestling, so we watched wrestling together, and it just became like a massive part of my life. I trained in wrestling in the UK. Gave it up when I met my now wife, and when I emigrated to Canada, for me, I was looking for an opportunity to get back into wrestling, not so much as a wrestler, but on the production side. Like, I could make websites and I could do graphics. It's like, what can I do to help out with? And when I met, not to break kayfabe like entirely here, but when I met Sebastian Toir, who runs Smash Wrestling, is kind of the guy kind of off the ground. I literally met him the first show, and we started talking and realized that, like, okay, well, here's exactly what I'm looking for in a show. This guy's trying to create something here, and I had an opportunity to be part of it. And my responsibilities have just grown exponentially since then. So everything from, we have an international TV deal now that I completely program and edit. We've got, some of the best production values in the area when it comes to the live show that, I purchased the equipment, I learned how to program it. Like, it really is one of those things where my interest and my passion for wrestling has fed all these many different aspects of my life and kind of my career at this point now. Like, stuff that I would never have even thought about in the past is now like something I have a legitimate marketable skill in, As far as like the bigger picture, it's what got me into wrestling is stuff like in the UK, like especially when I was a kid, like you couldn't get it easily. It was like American pro wrestling. I remember like I saw some of the tail end of like the world of sports stuff that's kind of got a bit of a resurgence now, but I never really got into that. But like my first pay-per-view, like my grandparents, I think, filmed it for me, like recorded it off the pay-per-view, and it was like WrestleMania 9, which looking back is not a good show. but for me, I was absolutely mesmerized by this stuff, and
right.
I don't know, it's like superheroes come to life. Like I've never been like a comic book guy, but I can see the appeal of comic books coming from someone that was absolutely enamored with like the Hitman Hart and Hulk Hogan and Yokozuna and stuff like that.
One of the things that we kind of bring up on the show is that we're kind of ambassadors for indie wrestling here, but Smash has done a great job of just sending out all of their talent to make a name for Smash themselves. We have one of our co-presenters here, Travis Canning, runs a promotion way out in Newfoundland, and he's a very big fan of Smash, and unfortunately he couldn't come on tonight, but you hear about all everything about Smash down in the States as well. We're about 90 miles away from the border. My wife's actually from Canada, but there's a sense that Smash has gotten so big. Where do you attribute most of the success to that?
So obviously having a very high quality product has helped that. Constantly working to improve like audio and video. So when people do find us like on YouTube or something, they're not turned off by the production, and they can see the great quality of the in-ring talent as a result. Like, I never want to get in the way of the talent. But I think a big part of it is going back to that collaborative nature. Like, we've just done a tag team tournament that was contested in Wild Zero, Innovative Wrestling, UCW, PWA, FLQ in Montreal, and ourselves. So it's like, we could have just done that ourselves, but, this is a way to, maybe it sells a couple of tickets, maybe it doesn't, but a way to collaborate with these other companies that are putting on, again, great product. They've got a good core set of values that, we're happy to work with them, and hopefully shine a light on some new talent. And as a result of that, like, our shows coming up this weekend, stacked with new talent that have never been on one of our shows before. The Philly and Marino experience coming from Wild Zero, and we've got the Untouchables coming in from UCW, and like, it's an opportunity to like expose new talent to our audience and kind of continue to provide them value of seeing, like, again, young up and coming talent, but like good talent, not just students. It's a case of like, here are people out there busting their ass, paying their dues, and deserve a bit of attention, and we're going to bring them in from those areas. And it's a chance to work with companies as a result of that. That really helps us spread the word, because if you're a fan of Wild Zero and you never look at Canada, suddenly you've heard of Smash Wrestling. So we benefit as well from it. It's mutually, it's mutually beneficial. And that's kind of how we approach those companies to work with us. And I think honestly why they like to work with us, because we're going to try to put some attention on them, not just kind of take it all for ourselves,
Yeah. A little bit of an aside to that. Now, Smash mainly works in Canada. They run shows all over the I want to say the province of Ontario, really.
Right.
Have you ever thought about running a show in the States? And if so, why should it not be in New York?
So it's gone through conversation a couple of times in years past, but we are like a legitimate business. We're registered, we collect and pay taxes, we have insurance, all that kind of stuff. And there are a lot of hurdles as a business, a Canadian business, to do business legitimately in New York. Now, if there was an opportunity, say, a company in New York wanted to run a Smash Wrestling show, and we basically turn up and run it, but it's their equipment, their ring, all that kind of stuff. Even then, just restrictions that kind of come into place when it comes to bringing talent over the border and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's completely different the other way, right? Because if I'm remembering correctly, you don't even need a visa to work in Canada as a professional wrestler, because it's considered artist. You're considered
it
artist.
is. There is actually a very specific exemption in our immigration law that if you are coming in to do pro wrestling as a pro wrestler, you are completely free to come in. We bring guys in from Mexico, Japan, all this kind of stuff, and they're like, what do we say at the border? Like, do we need paperwork? And it's like, tell them you're here to wrestle. Like, point them to the show, show them the flyer. Like, that is a specific exemption that we have for immigration.
Meanwhile, guys,
the States is a lot harder.
Yeah.
A lot harder.
So poor Mike Bailey being one of the biggest ones, but Sleazia Sparks, Elgin had an issue at one point. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. And it's a nightmare to run a show in these states on its own, too, especially in New York.
It is. Even Canadians that have a green card and now live in the States, there can be issues if they come back to Canada and then try to get back into the States. even though all of the paperwork is legit and they can go back, like, there's still issues. Like you said, Elgin had an issue, came over to work a couple of Ring of Honor shows, and then couldn't get back into the States, even though he has all the paperwork, and his wife and child were in the States. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
craziness.
It is. It's nuts. So basically, the long and short of it comes down to, if we can't promote a show as being a Smash Wrestling show, and we can't guarantee that Smash Wrestling talent that people would kind of want to see as part of that, it's just not something that we can really go with. I wouldn't want to say, okay, well, it's WrestleMania weekend, let's run a Smash Wrestling show, but no one from Smash Wrestling's actually there. It's just like, import talent or something. It's like, no, that's not what people are paying for. That's not what we're selling. So that's really the main issue. For us to do it properly and to do it legitimately is incredibly difficult. Not that we haven't thought about it. It's just not a hurdle that we really want to try and tackle. It's hard enough promoting shows in Canada when we live here.
Yeah.
So, we'll kind of stick with that for now, I think. On the plus side, we do try and make it easier and easier to kind of like keep up with our stuff, even if you can't be there live, So it's not like people are missing out on our shows. It's a bummer, but it is what it is,
Oh yeah, I completely understand that you don't want to like go down there and be like, well, here's our Smash Wrestling brand to a new audience, and be like, here's some talent that I don't even are on Smash Wrestling. Now you're just down there just to make a quick buck. And
that being said, all our champions are currently Americans.
But
who knows?
Yeah, but no, I get it. Now you're just saying go down to WrestleMania weekend just to make a buck, and that's not really the product that you put out. Now it's just money for money's sake instead of being, this is who we are. I get that.
I mean, Will Ospreay can only work so many times in a weekend.
I know. If we did a show, it would just be to give the guy like the hour off, Maybe we should just go to WrestleMania weekend, just book a venue with a bunch of like masseuses and studio therapists. Like, look, if you've got like half an hour free, just come to our show and like recoup. A couple of cots, so they can get a nap.
Yeah, you have a ring set up, bunch of cots, massage therapists, we're all happy.
Yeah, there you go. We could probably sell tickets to WrestleMania weekend as well.
Yes, come and see Will.
Take a nap.
Come and see Will Ospreay get massages. Only $10.
30
Someone will pay.
30 for
Someone will
VIP.
Pay. Okay, so now you guys are busy over the next couple of months. You have, if I'm counting correctly, 9 shows? 24?
9 shows in 1 week.
Yeah, so, I mean...
there's only 7 days in a week, right?
It's, we use Mike's ability to break the space-time continuum to make that work, I think.
I really do believe you guys are doing amazing stuff up there. So we kind of touched upon this a little bit, but I want to bring back to the fact of, where do you see Smash going in 5 years? I know we kind of said maybe not the United States right at this moment, but where do you see the company growing?
It's a good question. So the challenge with answering a question like this is, the company started from a group of friends putting on shows that they want to put on. And we've grown exponentially since then, but at the same time, it's the same kind of like ethos that drives everything. But naturally, that group of friends are at different points of their lives now. Sebastian's got 2 kids that he didn't have when he started this, I've got a dog.
That's important.
So, I mean, it's really hard to tell. We really like where we're at. We'd like to kind of continue building up our markets a little bit. We'd like to, keep working with, good people and good companies. I really like where we're at as far as a TV product. I mean, we're on TV in the UK, so my grandparents get to watch a TV show that I make that, 20 years ago they were recording and giving to me for my birthday and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so happy with where we're at. I just want to keep kind of doing what we're doing, to be honest. if we can kind of continue to grow the audience, whether it be the live crowd or the video crowd, that's cool. But we're not going to like change the business to for the sake of changing it, if that makes sense. We're not suddenly going to be the company that is putting on like super indie shows and kind of like neglecting the young talent that's in the area. At the same time, we're not going to become a show that is just students getting like the first couple of matches. We've always been able to strike like a really good balance, and I think the key to the success that we've had is by striking that balance, and that's what we've got to keep focusing on. I'd like to. We've made a lot of big improvements when it comes to like the behind the scenes stuff in the past 6 months. We can now like live edit all of our shows, like literally ready for TV. Like I can end the show and pass it to our TV network, and we're good to go. And that has given me more time between shows to kind of like live, spend time with my wife, that kind of stuff. So if we can continue to kind of like keep being Smash Wrestling whilst finding that work-life balance, then there's no end in sight for us. And that's honestly what I want out of the product. It's not just me working on this, obviously, like there's a group of us, and we kind of have to keep ourselves in check and kind of make sure that we're all on the same page. We're not always, because there's a lot of arguments.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, that's just because we're all passionate about what we're doing, right? So yeah, honestly, in 5 years' time, if we're in the exact same spot, I'd be really, really happy. Now, if we've grown to the point that, we're selling out venues and turning people away and looking for a bigger space, or if we're in a position where we've got like a large partnership with a major promotion that is mutually beneficial, that's cool too. But I'm not gonna wish for something like that at the detriment of kind of what we've already got. Probably the best way to put it.
All right, now going back to like you talked about how you don't really want to run shows in like the U.S. Is there like any difference between running shows in different provinces? Like, can you go to Quebec and run a show there without any difference?
Yes and no. I mean, the major thing when we kind of look at new markets is, if there's an existing company in the area, we want to be cool. We don't want to come in and like, work against one of our partners. So we actually work in Montreal at least once a year.
Oh.
And we work with a company out there called FLQ. And they're awesome. We use their venue. We use like some of their staff. And it's beneficial for both of us. Like, we get to go out there and put on a Smash Wrestling show. Their audience gets to see something a little bit different. And we help them to promote their show as a part of it. So it works out well for all of us. We had an opportunity in Kitchener with a venue that we literally couldn't turn down. It was, basically like given to us and said, we'd like you to run shows here. We'll help you to promote it. Okay, perfect. Well, PWA has been running there for, decades at this point, I believe. So, we made sure we had a conversation. Who are the guys in the company that are in the area that we can work with? So now we've got a show coming up in a couple of weeks there, and one of their top guys is challenging for the championship. And a couple of the guys are coming in and working like the tag tournament. So, again, mutually beneficial partners. Same thing with most of the places that we've gone to. Dresden and St. Thomas coming up. These are local communities that, we're helping to run shows to support charities in that area. So when it comes to kind of like looking at other places to run, that's really the number one thing that we kind of look at. Like, we're not just gonna go in and we would never claim any territories. We're not the only company that runs in Toronto. We would never pretend to be. What do? We try and do something that's different, that's unique, and it gives people a reason that they want to be a part of our show. If another company runs in Toronto the following week and they draw 10 times as many people as us, cool. I honestly don't mind. My concern is putting on the best show that we can put on, you know? And it's the same thing with any other town that we go to. If we can go and do a show in a town and leave it better off for other companies in the area, that's great because it means next time we go back, there's a bigger audience for us as well. Everyone wins.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I wish
mean,
it
my
was
biggest
like
thing is early on we did a show in Iqaluit and I wasn't able to go. And that's like way up north. Like there's no roads. You got to fly in. It's kind of crazy. It's like the set from The Thing. And I didn't get to go. So I'm really hoping we get to do another show in Iqaluit soon so I can go there.
Yeah, like in New York, it's like you run a show in Rochester and someone else is running a show in Rochester. They're running the same day right across the street to see who, gets better draws. They don't work together.
Yeah. Who can spend more of their money? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Right, yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah. The United States wrestling culture, while there are great amounts of talents here, the actual, and I hate saying it this way, but it's true, the carniness of it is just ridiculous, especially up here. And I'm not sure if you're aware of some of the things that are required of the New York State Athletic Commission, which, of course, it's different for every freaking state around here. So
another reason that we'll never run in the States.
Yeah, and I don't blame anyone who tries to run even in multiple states, never mind in another country like this. But, like, for instance, we have to have ambulances, we have to have insurance, we have to have docs on site. We have to do all this stuff before a show even starts to run. And there's so many different, even minutia requirements. Like on the poster, it has to have certain pieces of information. If it doesn't have that, your show's done. And we've had multiple shows canceled because of that in the area recently because of this. So
yeah, and quite often, like without any, the company can do everything right and still not be able to run the show. Yeah. I mean, we have licensed, not even first aid, but like first responders on site for every show that we do. We have a very, encompassing insurance that a lot of companies maybe skimp on a little bit. Like, we do a lot to kind of keep, like, the space safe. But honestly, like, if the requirement in Ontario was to have an ambulance at every show, like, for specific hours, like, that alone would probably kill a big part of our business. The requirement to have guardrails, like, stuff like that, like, it really kind of works against the ability to build the kind of atmosphere that we want at our shows. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, I've heard a lot of horror stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have as well.
Oh, and then you start with the how should we say this? The lack of professionalism with promoters in this area too. We'll just put it that way.
Well, I do think you get that everywhere. We try and play nice with as many people as we can. There's a couple of companies in the area here that don't want to play nice. It's honestly, our whole thing is, like I said, it comes back again and again. We're a group of friends putting on the show that we want to see. If you want to do something you don't like what we're doing, like, it's cool, like, do your own show, man. Like, honestly, not phased, not bothered, because we're happy with the product that we're putting out, and that's the important thing, right?
Right, exactly. Like, you don't.
But a lot of the companies, like, if I get it. Like, if I'm booking a date for a venue, my concern isn't if someone else is running that day. My concern is, can I get the venue that day? Can I get the talent I want that day? Sometimes I've only got 2 days in a month that I can book that venue. Some days I've only got 2 days in a month I can book that talent. If it matches up, I'm booking the show. And if it turns out that someone else was planning to run that day too, cool, man. Like, do your own show, do your own thing. It's no big deal. There's enough people in the area for us all to draw well and do well. But I think a lot of times people forget that there's no more territories. It's done. It's over. So, either work together and both do well, or be petty about it and, continue to spend your own money to outdo each other. It's a silly mentality. It really is. But it's not going to change. Like, it's never going to change. So, it is what it is. You've got to, like, shrug your shoulders and move on, man.
Right, because
it's been like that for decades up here. Like, years and years and years before I even came to Canada, it's been like that in Ontario, and it's been like that in New York, and it's been like that in Texas. It's been like that in South California. Like, it's everywhere, man. Like, there's always someone that, that feels like somebody else's success is an affront to them. And it's like, instead of being happy that someone's being successful and trying to, kind of work with that success yourself, people want to, kind of say, okay, well, if you're making $1, then I'm losing $1, If that's the mentality, you can't work with that. You just gotta move on and focus on yourself. Same, not even just wrestling, anything in life,
Right, because as soon as you start focusing on the competition, you're losing your focus on what you need to do. So
100%.
So what's the point of being like, oh my god, I can't believe they booked Mike Bailey for that date in that venue. We'll just go across the street and book Roman Reigns and draw 30 people.
The hobby.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, they'll try to draw like a bigger name, but get less people, so lose money on the show. But they had a Roman Reigns, so. But
yeah. Or when people are like, okay, well, we'd like to use, name talent A for the show, but we can't because Smash used him, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, man. If you think you can make money with him, like, bring him in. I don't get it. Never have, probably never will. Maybe that's why I'm not a good promoter. I don't know.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, here's the thing: is that your sense of positivity has brought out happiness in us tonight, for sure. Because I've worked in wrestling for about, I want to say 7 years now, 6 years now. I got trained in 22. Yeah, that would have been 7 years. And all I can see is horror stories left and right. I talk to talent. People are getting paid. People don't live up to their obligations. Shows get canceled randomly. Stuff like that. So it's nice to see there's a positive influence up in, if nothing else, up in Canada to say, hey, this is what we want to do because we love wrestling. And that's very wonderful. So let's get to.
By the way, I just want it on record that when this call's over, I'm going to go wake up my wife and tell her I made Sleazy and the Fat Man happy.
It's very hard to do.
I'm going to cut Sleazy off. I'm going to ask you a question. You keep talking about your TV deals. Where can you watch Smash Wrestling?
Okay, I'm not good at this because it's literally all over the place. So let me rattle off everything that I can think of off the top of my head. In Canada, on the Fight Network, there is premieres Friday, 8:30 p.m. We're the lead-in for Impact.
Nice.
It's on the Fight Network app in the United States at the same time. You can catch the replay, so to speak, on YouTube. It goes up on the Sunday at some point on the Sunday when I get like a 5 minutes to breathe. And it's there for about 4 weeks, but it's on our Smash On Demand, service basically in perpetuity. It also gets syndicated through to, ESW, High Spots, Progress, Best Wrestling, SPW in New Zealand. I'm probably forgetting a whole bunch of them. The whole show is not the TV episodes, but like the event itself. It gets shared with WXW in Germany on their streaming platform. In the UK, we air 2 weeks behind on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. It's one of the two on Saturday nights on the UK. And then there's a whole bunch of international countries, and that's check your local listings things. I have no idea what the deals are with that. And then we throw free matches up on YouTube and stuff like whenever we think to do it.
So looking at your roster right now, who do you think are the two big stars that you can see going huge in the next 3 years?
I don't know how to do this without like pissing someone off.
Of course you're going to. That's the point of the question.
He asks to every promoter.
In that case, then I would say Kevin Bennett for sure, Tarek for sure, and if I had to choose a third, I'd probably go with Mike Rowland.
Great choices.
Yeah, like all three of those guys, but then like there's a lot of people that have so much drive and ability that it's like I know that they're going to do well. It's just a case of like how quickly it happens for them.
Yeah, Kevin does a lot of shows down here specifically for like ESW, UPW as well. They all, a lot of your guys come down here, and I meet them a lot in passing with Excite and as well as ESW. So we'll get off on this. So one of the
Wait, we're getting off?
Yes.
Oh,
we are definitely.
Let me get the towel.
We're getting off on this.
The accent for you.
Haha. Well, I would be promoting the show with Gail Kim in that respect. August 24th, you guys are doing TV tapings in, London, Ontario?
London, the music hall. It's honestly the best wrestling venue, like the wrestling venue in the Ontario area. Absolutely incredible.
I've heard many great stories about it. I've never, unfortunately, been there yet.
Genuinely the closest you'll get on the indie scene to NXT.
It's
amazing.
I've heard it's unbelievable. You guys are bringing Gail Kim to that show. I absolutely can't wait. Additionally, on August 18th, and I know you have so many different shows coming up, but on August 18th in Burlington, Ontario, you have Proving Ground. This show is particularly special because at the WNY PodCon in Niagara Falls, New York, we're giving away tickets to that. We're giving away a pair of tickets to that show. What can we see on that show for you guys?
Okay, so that's actually a really cool show. This is the second Proving Ground that we've done. The idea is we take recently graduated students or young wrestlers that haven't really got a break yet. So on that show, we've got people like Corey Stone and Jake Jones. And then the whole kind of deal is they face off against like a somewhat more established Smash wrestler. So like Tarek, Tyson Dukes, Kevin Bennett will be on the show. So for a lot of these guys, it's a big opportunity, not just, wrestling in front of a new crowd, but like working a different type of match. Sometimes they've never worked for like a camera before. Sometimes it's a case of just kind of being in there with someone that's got years of experience in a different market that they can kind of learn from. And the whole idea behind it basically is it's called the Proving Grounds. It's like it's giving these guys an opportunity to go out there and prove to like a brand new audience, like, who they are, what they can do, what their ability is, and kind of like, I wouldn't say it's exposing kind of like the future of the business because that's kind of putting a bit on their shoulders, but I would say that it's definitely kind of, the people that do well on that show are going to start making like a big name for themselves in Ontario if they haven't already. A lot of the guys that are on it, like they've had an opportunity here and there. Maybe it's a pre-show or something like that. Well, now it's like there's one of the stars of the show, and it's an opportunity to kind of showcase them. So the first one that we did was working with Tyson Dukes in his wrestling school. This one is working with, I believe, if I name this correctly, it's Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy. But there's a local promotion in Burlington that, again, we're partnering with called Pro Wrestling Ontario. So we're working in their venue. We're working with a couple of the guys that are kind of on top in that promotion as well. So it's kind of, again, it comes back to that collaborative nature that we discussed,
Absolutely. So we'll end this interview on this. How can we get a hold of Smash Wrestling? How can we get a hold of you in terms of your social media?
Okay, so for me, it's the Smash Wrestling stuff because my social media is basically non-existent. Smash Wrestling is easy. We are at Smash Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat. I don't think we use Snapchat, but we've got the handle. One of the staff members is probably on Tinder, like we're everywhere. So, we're pretty easy to find. If anyone hasn't really kind of got that much exposure to us, I would say check out our YouTube, because we've got a couple of recent TV episodes, which right now is the Northern Tournament with people like, AEW's The Dark Order is on there. We've got Matt Cross, Lufisto, Ultimo Dragon, Mike Rollins versus his own conscience, which is an experience. We literally had to talk to the Fight Network about if we were allowed to show somebody waterboarding themselves as part of a wrestling match. So, wow, it's something. I would suggest that if they're looking to kind of do a bit more of a deep dive, the best thing to do is jump on Twitter and shoot a message asking for recommendations, and I'm sure our fan base will just launch on that and give you ideas. If you want to go back into the deep category, we had Canada's first ever and so far only ever ambulance match between Hacker Scotty O'Shea and Brent Banks, which was absolutely insane. I know somewhere on YouTube is the Smash Brothers versus the Young Bucks if you want like an AEW preview. I don't know where you would find it, but Johnny Gargano versus Mark Haskins in progress for the Smash Wrestling Championship was voted match of the year that year. So it kind of shows you the caliber of talent that we're working with. So,
absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We really do appreciate you coming on. And like I said, August 18th, Proving Ground in Burlington, and of course that huge, unbelievable set of shows over SummerSlam weekend in Toronto. Tickets are on sale at smash-wrestling.com. Really great tickets still available for all of their shows. I highly, highly recommend it. So,
yeah, and if you do the bundle, you save like 25%, which is it's absolutely insane. You buy a group of shows, you get like a show or two for free.
That's amazing. It's an amazing deal. It's an amazing value. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to go back to listen to the episode down here. You tear apart like every other show that we've done recently.
Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. Once again, WNY PodCon. Alan Taylor, who was gracious enough, he's actually going to add a second pair of Smash Wrestling tickets to the August 18th show in Burlington, Ontario, Proving Ground. So check out our live show there. Once again, Frontier Fire Hall in Niagara Falls, New York. $10 ticket on August 3rd. Yes, I got them all. Sweet.
Woohoo, you did it. We're going to cut the news and rumors segment for this week because there's just so much of it and the show's gone way too long. So what do? We're going to make news and rumors even longer next show.
As usual, 6 weeks worth of news and rumors.
But at least I have them all now. Instead of,
like half of them will be out of date by then.
That's fine.
You know how it goes. But that's pretty much it for the show. So for Sleazy,
for the Femin,
this is the Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Wait, I'm Rob Burgundy. Damn it.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain of the game. The blood shedding your name. When there's nothing to gain, I'm the world gone sad.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Perez. Project Transformation is not just about my weight loss, but it's also about the people who are supporting me on my weight loss and your journeys. And frankly, it's not going to be just about my weight loss journey. Throughout this, I want to highlight people in the community that are making changes and transforming the community themselves. So it's not going to be just my transformation, but it's the community's transformation. And I'm inviting you to walk with me only on the Gear Radio Network.